Hey everyone, it's Nicole of NicoleLaloya.com, and I am here with our weekly workshop. So we are going to talk about today how to get a steady stream of clients. And I'm really looking forward to this. I just want to pull up and make sure that it's showing. And it is. So we are good to go. And I know I'm a little bit late today, but just a reminder, these workshops are weekly. So you can sign up for those at NicoleLaloya.com/workshop. If you're on, say hello. If you're watching the replay, say replay. This is all really important information. I recently did a free summer camp training series, and what really came out was that you all want more consistent income. And I think that the reason that you all don't have it, to be quite honest, is because unfortunately, we often don't have a secure foundation for our business. And then from there, not only do we not have the secure foundation for our business, but basically we unfortunately then try to add in new income streams and add in new things before we have that steady flow of clients, right? And as service providers, you all really want that steady flow of clients, because the truth is, although I do believe for long-term financial security, you do want multiple income streams and things like that, it really is absolutely necessary to get the steady stream of clients and know how to go back to getting clients in case you ever need quick income for something, right? Like maybe you have a car issue, or maybe you've decided to save up for a new computer, and one-to-one clients, to be quite honest, are quite lucrative. And it really is important that you know how to go back and get a steady stream of clients. So we're going to be talking about that today. And once again, if you have any questions at any time, even if you're watching the replay, say replay below if you're on for the replay. We will cover that, right? So I wanted to just introduce myself. Some of you know I was doing these weekly workshops early on for a while, but unfortunately, they started really loud construction in my neighborhood. They were drilling into the ground. If you don't know what pile driving is, look it up. I unfortunately now know what it is, and it was bad. And it just kind of made it hard for me to do things on video. It made it hard for me to concentrate, and all of that kind of stuff. So once again, I just want to say that, I'm finally back doing these, and I'm really excited to be here. But I thought it would be fun to kind of add in, since you guys don't need a full introduction to me every week. Most of you know I'm a business coach. I help service providers scale their businesses, create consistent income, and then add in new income streams, right? But I thought it'd be fun to share a fun fact with you every week just about myself, right? And the fun fact that I'm going to share today is very random, and that's what's fun about these, I think, is that when I was a tween, my tween self, that word didn't even exist when I was a tween, but my preteen self, and probably honestly even 13 and 14, I loved the Babysitter's Club books, right? And yesterday I got super excited because I don't know if you guys have seen, but they're actually going to be doing the Babysitter's Club on Netflix. And yesterday, this not only got me excited, this also kind of made me feel a little old. They have cast Alicia Silverstone as Christy's mom. So I love Alicia Silverstone. So, obviously I'm of the Clueless era as well. And it was pretty exciting to see that. But what I thought was interesting, and I do have liked the author's fan page of the Babysitter's Club, Anna Martin. I'm not even sure how I came across it, but I did, and I liked it. I went and I had seen that post on her page. And, I was reading the comments and it was really cool to see people, in my age range who were so excited about this, because I kind of thought I was the only one who read the books as a teen and was as excited about this. And a lot of them were talking about how they like own all the books, they look for them, they try to buy them. And I have to tell you guys, I still have stored in my parents' attic my full collection of Babysitter's Club books. The one with Dawn and the Secret Passage was my favorite. And, it was nice to see that there are other women out there that feel the same way. And actually a lot of them were saying that they reread the books. And it's very funny because a couple summers ago, I actually came across some of them online and reread a few myself. And I had fun kind of remembering, my childhood and enjoying those books. So this is a really long, fun fact, but it does tie into what we're talking about today, which is that, we're all in the same boat, you guys. Like, not all of us together. Like, obviously, many of you may not love the Babysitter's Club the way I did, and still have nostalgia around it. But, a lot of you think you're the only one without a steady stream of clients. A lot of you are looking at other business owners. You're even looking at me and saying, how does she do it? How does she get a steady stream of clients? I don't get it. I don't know. I'm the only one who can't figure this out, right? And if you're on and you've struggled to get a steady stream of clients, drop a comment below. Let us know, how long you've been struggling to have that steady stream of clients. Are you in business a year and still struggling? Are you in business 3 months and struggling? Did you not launch your business yet, but you're prepping for it? Are you in business 4 years and still feel confused about what to do? I've been in business 6 years, you guys, and, I tweak things too in my business, and sometimes that throws things off. So this is just really important to remember, like, we're all in this place, right? We all have felt this way at some time, just like me thinking I was the only one who had nostalgia for Babysitter's Club. It's just not true. So once again, remember to sign up for the workshop at NicoleLeBlanc.com/workshop if you want the reminders, etc., and the freebies that sometimes go along with it. But listen, you here today are in the right place. If your schedule has way too much open time in it instead of client sessions, you're not on track to hit your income goals this month or this year, and you feel like clients are hiding from you. If you feel 1, 2, or 3, I want to know which of these applies to you. Drop it in the comments, the number that most applies to you right now, and how you're dealing with getting a steady stream of clients, okay? And it may be all of them. So don't feel afraid to put all in the comments below if that's what you're struggling with. Okay, here's the deal. Having a steady stream of clients can change the direction of your business and give you a secure financial future, right? It can allow you to have a steady foundation, have steady income, and allow you to invest in your business and yourself and help more people, right? Create new programs and services with a secure financial foundation. So let's talk about what you need to do to make that steady stream of clients your reality instead of a dream, right? Because I think that's the thing, a steady stream of clients to many of you feels like a dream that you're never going to have, right? And we need to make that a reality. So listen, here's the first thing you need to work on. You need to know where to find them. So many of you feel like my clients must be hiding from me. I don't know where they are. If that is the case, then it means you don't know who your ideal clients are, who your target market is. As a business owner, as a boss, you cannot be unclear about your audience, right? And I know that's kind of annoying and obnoxious of me to say, but the reality is that if you're not certain where your clients are, then you need to do more ideal client work. Who, do you know where your ideal clients are? Just drop yes or no in the comments below. I see new people have joined us. Say hello, introduce yourself. This is a great way for you to get visibility, right? I really encourage people to comment on these, to ask questions, to show up. This is how you get visibility. This is how you put it out there. I'm serious about my business. I'm serious about filling up my client spots, right? Most people don't have a steady stream of clients, you guys. If you look at percentages of businesses and how much money they make, you're in the majority if you don't have a steady stream of clients. You're not in the minority. But we want to bring you into that minority. We want to make the minority a majority and have everybody having a steady stream of clients. But I know you think they're hiding from you. They are not hiding from you. You are not showing up where they are. I see all kinds of unique niches, and if those unique niches exist, so can your clients, but you need to be specific. And I know you're probably like, Nicole, I am specific. My clients are women aged 35 through 50 who, who need to upgrade their self-care routines. It does not tell me anything, you guys, right? That does not tell me anything. That is not good, right? And I'm telling you this because that was very similar to my ideal client audience when I first started, right? I had a therapy practice and I added in coaching services, and I was not specific. I was like, I help women who are stressed out and miserable. And they're stress addicts, right? And the truth is that people were like, oh yeah, that's great. I know what you're talking about. But it wasn't specific enough for them to send me people, right? And you really need to narrow it down. So what I started narrowing down was that people hated their careers. Their careers were causing them stress. And it necessarily wasn't even that they were in the wrong career or needed a new job, but they were really stressed out. They didn't have the strategies to deal with it, that it would go home and it would cause them problems with their partner, their relationships, their money, everything, right? When I got specific with that, suddenly my roster filled up, right? Suddenly I was getting invites to be on summits and interviewed. People were signing up for my freebies. And why, right? I got published in Mind Body Green. Why? Because I got specific. A perfect example of this is that, I submitted articles to Mind Body Green. They were really vague. They were like, how to feel like 15 self-care techniques, right? Yeah, okay, great. Like they already have 1,800 articles on that. So I went back in and I looked, and then I thought about my audience, and I really just changed the title, which was like, I can't remember it, but it was something like 15 self-care techniques for busy people, or even if you're too busy for it, or something like that, right? So I added like a little disclaimer that would relate to my audience, these people who are busy at work and hate it and are overwhelmed. And what do you know? Within 24 hours, Mind Body Green said they were going to publish it. So this is a perfect example of how you can get you can show up better. You can show up better, right? I was hiding when I couldn't get articles published, but when suddenly I got more specific, I got clients, right? So you need to be more specific, even if you think you already are. And, I'd love for you, those of you who are watching, the replay, to really let me know, like, who is your ideal client? Who is your target market, right? And I don't, honestly, you guys, I don't give a shit about an ideal client avatar. I don't have an ideal client avatar, but you do need to know what your people are struggling with. Tamara says all three. Don't worry, Tamara, we're going to be working on that. Becca Rich says number 3 from before. I don't know why these weren't showing up. Kristen says 2. And Becca says, she knows who her ICA is and she's super specific about them, but she doesn't know how to reach out about her offer yet. So Becca, that means you need to be getting in front of that audience, right? Where are they and how are you building your relationship with them? You can't just put out that offer, right, real quick. You do kind of need to bring them in. You can kind of sometimes put out that offer, but do people know who you are? Are you showing up as an expert in front of them? That's really, really important. So Becca, tell me where your clients are, that you're showing up in front of them, that you know where they are and you're finding them. So once again, you need to know where to find your clients if you want a steady stream of them. And here's the second piece that people miss, right? This is avoiding this costs you thousands of dollars in sales, you guys. I'm sorry, it's true. You absolutely cannot avoid this, right? You cannot avoid having conversations with your clients. And once again, this is a mistake that I made. This is a mistake that many of my clients make. They think because they plop up a website that people are just going to come in and book in. And believe me, you guys, I wish that was true in the beginning, right? Or in the early stages, or when you don't have clients, even if you're further along. It's not true. You need to be getting in front of your audience. If you need clients quickly, you need to be getting in front, you need to be using your relationships and things like that, right? And once again, like this is something that I avoided, right? You know, when I had my first business as a therapy practice, it was like a little bit easier to bring in people. But when I went online, I was like, oh gosh, there's thousands of people out here. It's going to be so much easier. And I just thought plopping up a website would magically bring them in and people would read that. Great copy. I even invested in a copywriter. Yes, and I was still vague though, and she tried to help me get more specific, but I blocked her from being more specific, so that didn't help. And once again, I just thought that having the website, having all the setup, you know, having these packages would be enough, right? And that people would click buy and spend thousands of dollars on my coaching package. And that was not true. That was not right, right? I needed to have conversations, and I didn't even want to have sales calls at the time. I was so uncomfortable with it, right? And once again, like, you know, if you're not in front of your clients, if you're not having conversations with them, you maybe don't even have services yet, because how did you create your services without having conversations with them, right? So once again, you need to have conversations as much as possible. Just as an example, right? If you want 15 clients a week and you only have 3, then guess what? You have 12 hours open that you should be filling with potential clients, free calls, you know, target market conversations, like hardcore marketing to fill up those hours with calls so that you can get clear and you can sell to them, right? And so that you can have conversations and build these relationships. Now, here's the deal. This is what people do that is like, I'm going to be honest, it's effed up, right? Because this is honestly happened to me yesterday, right? People try to sell too quickly without having a conversation with you. A prime example of this is that, you know, I just ran a summer camp series. I did tons of free trainings. And yesterday, someone reached out to me to share something with me, right, that she thought was applicable and would be a good topic for me. Love that she gave me that helpful information that she thought would be a good topic for my audience to cover. Love that she gave me that helpful information, right? Instead of inviting me on a call to say, hey, I loved it. I'd love to see how I could support you, to see how we can work together. When I wrote back and said thank you, and actually I told her this is actually something I cover with my clients further down the road. It's more of a, you know, it is a higher level strategy, and it's something that I cover too in free workshops like this. She wrote back and immediately pitched me her services, right? Didn't even make the connection between what we were talking about and how they'd be a good fit for me, right? Just pitched me them. No conversation, no invite to a conversation, no even seeing if I had a need for those services. Hey, Donna, so good to see you. So, you know, it doesn't feel good. And I see this all the time, and people are anxious and they want clients, and I get it, right? You know what I mean? Like, I want more clients too, always, almost always. But here's the deal. You got to be able to have conversations. And I've had clients who've done this too. They get nervous. And even though we have a plan where they're inviting people on calls, they just sort of get like verbal anxiety. And they're just like, hey, here's how we could work together. If you want to buy this, buy this. I had a client who did this not that long ago, even though we had the full plan for conversations, right? And it's not avoidable. Even my clients can't avoid it, right? But what they do is we get support and we work through it. So we were able to go back and create a plan to salvage that, but she potentially lost out on 10 leads because she tried to skip the conversation part, right? And I know it takes time in the beginning, but the reality is if you're not booked out with clients, you have time. You can't be that busy then. You know what I mean? If you have time for paying clients, then you have time for calls and conversations with potential clients as well. So once again, you know, a website isn't enough. Even with amazing copywriting, you got to have conversations. Who here has avoided conversations with their target market? Who here is still struggling to have conversations with their target market? Becca, have you had conversations with them? Tomorrow, I know we're going to be working on that. You're going to be having conversations with them. Donna, you too. I'd love to know, are you having conversations with your target market? Okay. So here's the deal. This is the other thing you need to do. When you do get clients, you need to track your leads and where they come from, right? So just as an example, I just signed on a bunch of one-to-one clients through my summer camp. Now, it's not enough to just know, hey, they were part of my summer camp. I can go back and I know how they all came into my summer camp and signed up, right? Once again, I know how they found me. I know how long they've been on my mailing list. I know if they were new to my mailing list, how they signed up for the summer camp, right? Like, I know all of that for a lot of people, right? And honestly, I did summer camp a year ago, and I can still tell you, for the amount of clients that I got then, I still know where each of them came from. Do you know where your leads are coming from? Do you know where the leads who are signing on are coming from? Do you know where the leads who are booking calls and maybe not signing on coming from, right? You do need to know that. And it's not enough to say, hey, they booked a call from my mailing list, right? You need to find out from them. How did they find you? How were they referred to you? Things like that, right? That is really important. Most people don't know where their leads come from. For you guys who are on, I'd love to know if you've gotten sales, if you've gotten leads, if you've gotten a handful of clients, how did they find you, right? This is exactly what you need to do more of, right? When you know where they found you, those are the activities you need to do more of. And I know that sometimes it's scattered. Like sometimes it's one here, sometimes it's one there, right? Like for me, it's like one podcast or one interview series I did or something like that. But you know what? That just means I need to do more podcasts. Or, a few years ago, I got a couple of clients. I got $10,000 in sales over a few weeks from one podcast interview I did. So guess what, you guys? This year, I pitched that podcast again. I got on it, and within one week, not even a full week of my podcast episode being out, I got another client, right? Thousands of dollars. You guys can do this too, right? Like you can track and you can find out and you can figure out where the leads are coming from. This is the other thing, right? The next thing, you need to stop avoiding follow-up. I know that you guys don't want to follow up. I know that you don't want to hear no's. I know that, there is a lack of a follow-up system that most of you guys don't have. I'm working with several of my clients now who are new to me, and they have businesses and are losing clients in the follow-up process. They are not clear what the follow-up process is. People say they're interested in their services and then vanish. And that's because your follow-up process sucks or is non-existent. Sorry. This can be fixed, right? I do a tracking system. I have a spreadsheet. If you want a copy of it, you can email me at support@nicolelodoya.com. If you want a copy of my follow-up tracking spreadsheet, it's simple. It's a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, I should say. Not a big deal. But most people aren't doing it. It needs to be done weekly. Like I'm asking my clients weekly, who did you follow up with, right? I know my client Kristen is on here. I think she's still on here. Kristen is now following up with people, previous leads, closing them off, seeing where they're at with things, finding out how she can support them, right? This is important. Most sales happen in the follow-up process. And this does need to be done weekly. Like you need to have a spot in your schedule for follow-up. And this is not a task that should constantly be pushed to the end of the week and then postponed. This is something that you need to be doing consistently. You don't have to follow up with the same 100 people every week, but, stay on top of people, check in several times. It definitely works. And when you don't do this, this is another thing that costs you thousands of dollars in clients and sales, right? So once again, if you want a copy of my follow-up spreadsheet, just email me at support@nicolelodoya.com. If you're one of my new clients, you have access to it in my Reset and Refresh course. But this is really important. And I actually do have a separate workshop on follow-ups. So if you go back and you look at the replays, I really recommend you check that one out. Then the other thing is it really needs to be, you guys need to have a mindset shift. And for those of you who are on or watching the replay, I'd love for you to comment and tell me like what your biggest thoughts are. Like what negative thoughts come up for you? What negative beliefs come up for you when I say you can have a steady stream of clients, right? Do you think like I'm not good enough for that? Nobody likes me. This is so hard. I don't, same thing like I can't find my clients. It's a negative belief. Things like that, that's negative and strategic. This is the most important shift. Like you need to stop thinking this is so freaking hard, right? You need to stop thinking people won't find you. You need to stop thinking people are not going to sign up for you. And, once again, you have to have positive mindset techniques that work for you. I can tell you guys that, I go over mindset with all my clients pretty much. They don't think it's an issue, but it is, this is one of those hidden, silent business killers, right? Is mindset. And I see a lot of people, this is what's unique about me, to be quite honest, as a business strategist and coach, is that, you do need to have a very clear, a division of mindset, strategy, and action. You really do need to be very clear that you are working in all of those areas and they really do connect together. And that is what all of my work with my clients is around, which is why my clients, to be quite honest, get really good results. You guys have seen the stories. My clients have 10x their income, 10x things. And it's because like we make sure that they are up to par in all these areas. And honestly, even when my clients start getting results, the mindset things shift back in, right? They don't vanish, unfortunately. They come back in different hidden ways. So Tamara says, I'm not good enough is always a problem. Absolutely. I think, we do struggle with that. We hit and even when we get to a certain level, we go to a new level. And if you guys are people who are constantly looking to learn more, it most likely is coming from a place of I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, I'm not professional enough, you know what I mean? I'm not skilled enough. So really keep your eye on that, you know what I mean? And then you're gonna think it is hard to get clients. The harder you believe it is, the harder it becomes. And that's because it ends up clouding your brain. It makes you feel like shit. You put out negative energy. You have a lack mindset, right? And a lot of you, when you feel it's hard, you can't take those first steps. You can't get out of your own way to take those first steps to start taking action to see what you need to shift, change, etc. So Donna says, I don't know how to build leads. So Donna, really for you, I don't know who your target market is, but you have to be clear. And I'm not sure I think you missed the beginning. I would go back and watch the replay. You have to be really clear. Who is your audience? Who are you trying to help? How can you get in front of more of them? That's what's going to lead you to the ways to get leads. So once again, have positive mindset techniques that work for you. And you guys, like I constantly have to up level and shift my positive mindset techniques. What worked for me before doesn't work for me now. And sometimes it'll work again, but I'm someone who has like a shorter attention span. So sometimes it feels like things get stale, right? It's just kind of like if you go to the gym, if you're working on a certain muscle, you got to switch it up. You got to work on the other muscle, or you have to increase your weights, or you have to run further, right? Like to get the next level results. So it's kind of the same thing with mindset. Like these techniques can get stale for a little bit if you've been using them and you're just kind of going through them robotically. So things that I use really are affirmations, writing down affirmations, journaling, listening to positive law of attraction type stuff. I like to listen to that on YouTube, listening to motivational speaking, reading motivational speaking, reading things like that, right? Not reading motivational speaking, reading motivational books, personal development, journaling, tapping, EFT, going to a therapist. There's all kinds of things that you guys can be doing to have these mindset techniques and to really be working on this, right? Forgiveness work, like there's so much you can do, and it really is finding the right combo for yourself. So at times I've done serious future journaling about things. At times I've done serious EFT. It really is figuring out what feels good right now for you and makes it feel like you're breaking through the blocks that you have, right? So once again, this doesn't have to be so hard. The harder you believe it is, the harder it becomes. And, you know, I don't want that to happen to you. Oh, sorry, you guys. I don't want that to happen to you. So just really quick, you guys, I am doing 5 free sales strategy calls. If you feel that there is a leak in your sales system and you guys don't know what it is and you don't have a steady stream of clients and we've never talked before, I invite you to book one of these 5 sales strategy calls. You can book it at NicoleLaloya.com/consult. Once again, I only have 5 of these available, so I do recommend you grab it. But we will go through that. So if you guys have any follow-up questions, drop them below. I will be checking through them. If you were watching the replay, don't worry, just drop your questions below. I'm happy to answer them. But I really want you guys to think, like, which of these do I need to start doing, right? Yes, should you do all 5 of these things we cover today? Absolutely. But which are you going to work on first, right? Like, which of these are you going to really commit to following through and executing on? And I'm just going to go through them really quick again, so you don't forget. But one, you need to know where your clients are to find them. You need to get clear on who your clients are, the problems you help them solve. You need to have conversations with them. I feel like this one just showed up like 3 times. You need to have conversations with them, right? This is really important, and you do need to actually be talking to people, not always necessarily sales calls right away, but you know, you need to be inviting people onto conversations and talking to them and finding out what their needs are, how you can help them, that kind of thing. Can you also sell to them? Absolutely. But if you're just kind of hiding in the corner, you know, tweaking your website all the time or just putting up posts on Facebook or Instagram without really getting out there and really putting yourself out there and getting uncomfortable. Like I did 60 calls in like 5 weeks back in the day. And that's what really turned my business around. You must track your leads, you guys. You need to know where people are coming from, how are they finding you, so you can do more of those tasks. And you need to stop avoiding follow-up, right? You need to talk to people. You need to check in on them. You need to see where they're at with things. And you need to let them know if you are talking about signing up with them, what are the next steps? And then stop thinking this needs to be hard. So you guys, I'm really excited I'm probably going to do a workshop next week. I'm actually going to be away for a few days, but I'm thinking I will be able to tie it in. So just keep your eyes out for announcements about that. But also remember, please grab a sales strategy call. You can book yours at NicoleLaloya.com/consult. I am excited to talk to you guys more and help you really get in and figure out where that leak is, right? Where is that leak in your sales system that's preventing you from not having a steady stream of clients? All right, everyone, have a great day. I will talk to you soon.